Hey, what's up everyone? Today I'm in Boquete, Panama. It's this small little lush town in the middle of the mountains where it's 75 degrees all the time. It's a little small town on the western side of Panama. I'm Risa Morimoto, your host. You're watching Modern Aging, where we chat about innovative and holistic ways to care for one another as we age. You can subscribe by clicking on that little red button and the little bell to be sure to be notified whenever new episodes are uploaded. Be sure to also check out our website at thisismodernaging.com. Today, my guest is Jim White. He writes a blog called Route to Retire. He, at the ripe old age of 43, brought his family down here, and now they've retired in Boquete. So today we're going to talk about all the pros and cons of why you might want to move here, so check it out. Today I want to talk about retiring in Boquete, Panama.
Great.
Yeah, I had never heard of the town, to be honest, before I arrived here. I don't know, but it's actually quite popular amongst expats, it seems.
Yes.
It's like kind of a little enclave of...
I believe it's the second most popular city for expats in the country.
So why Boquete? I mean, I know it has amazing weather.
That's the biggest thing. We got to look at a couple things. So the first thing is, well, we were looking at finding a place domestically originally to retire to, and you could find some places with nice weather and stuff there, or you could find places with low cost of living, but you usually can't find them together. Here, when we started looking more internationally, we found Panama and looked at different places. It's hot in Panama in most places, but
Yeah.
in Boquete, we're up in the mountains, so it's pretty much 75 degrees every day.
Every day of every year, which is pretty insane. I mean, we get these, right now, we have these beautiful breezes, but it feels completely comfortable and not...
Yeah, it's been, so
So how high up are we?
we're under 4,000 feet, just under 4,000 feet up.
So high, but not too high.
Yeah, and what's nice is you can kind of choose your temperature. If you like it a little warmer, you just move down the mountain a little bit as you go. And that's exactly our point. We initially looked at some of the places along the beach and everything, and we're like, these would be fantastic, but you'd have to live in air conditioning.
Right.
We got the best of both worlds. We're up here, it's 75, you can walk around every day, you don't have to worry about heat. Most places don't have heat, they don't have air conditioning. It's just
Wow.
perfect. And then when you want to go to the beach, it's an hour down the mountain and boom, you're there. So
Right, and it's 90 degrees.
right. And there's cheaper places around in Panama, but it's kind of a low cost of living, but it's not as cheap as some of the other ones. But I'm good with that. I'm okay. We'll take the temperature with that.
Yeah, no, it's great. Well, you're not spending money on air conditioning or in heat, right?
Right.
So talk to me about cost of living. So how have you kind of seen it? How comparable is it to the U.S.?
Well, it's much cheaper than when I can go to a restaurant or bar and get a beer for $1, I'm good to go there. So I would say, to kind of put it in perspective, if you go to like a fancier restaurant here, it's probably the cost of what you'd pay for like a mid-level restaurant in the States. Or, we went to breakfast a few weeks ago at a local place, and for the three of us, it was $11 for this giant meal of great food and stuff. So, yeah, price is good.
That's pretty nice.
Price is good.
And what about
weather's good.
utilities and rent and that sort of thing?
It depends. So what's nice is most of the places here are fully furnished, and that was a big deal coming down here because we didn't, we turn around and hated it. Now we just spent all this money, but we didn't have to worry about that. So they come fully furnished, and it depends on what you're getting. Sometimes utilities are included. Sometimes some utilities are included. Sometimes they'll throw in a weekly gardener or weekly maid or something like that. So it kind of depends. But I'll throw mine out if you're good with that.
Sure.
I mean,
No, it's great.
So we're in a condo in a gated community, and we have all the amenities you can think of: pools, gym, racquetball courts, all that. We're paying $1,100 a month, and that includes so by Panama standards that might be a little high, but I'm okay with that. That's for what we're getting. It's fantastic.
Well, you couldn't even think about that in the States.
Well,
maybe in some.
not in certain states, but
Right.
we're from Cleveland, so So yeah, you could find places like that in the Cleveland area, and you're not getting what you're getting here for sure. And most of our utilities are included, I think, with the exception of, I should know by now, right? But it's electric isn't included, and gas, propane is what they use and stuff. So, but other than that, good to go.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. So in terms of food, can you get the foods that you want here, or do you go to like local markets?
You know, it's funny because there are a lot of people who come here and they want to live like Americans, and
Right.
then yeah, and suddenly they're paying, you know, the same. They're actually paying more in groceries than they would be otherwise. So, but for
So you
us,
buy your peanut butter in the U.S. and you bring it down.
yeah, of course, macaroni and cheese is a good example. For whatever reason, the blue box. I don't know if you want me to say the brand, but the blue box, the mac and cheese, is the exact same price as the Panamanian brand here. So in that case, we buy the good old blue box. But you know, with most of our groceries, we like to try different things. We're finding different things that we like and don't like, or
There's a lot of fresh produce here, of course.
yes. And unlike the U.S., there might be a truck pulled up with pineapples in the back, and you know, if you saw a truck pull up in the States, you'd probably question it a little bit. Here, it's normal. You go over there, you pay 50 cents for a pineapple or a thing of bananas, and call it a day, and it's delicious, very
Wow.
fresh.
And I've seen, and actually we've been able to eat in a lot of really nice restaurants. For
Thank you
such
for
a
that.
small town. Yeah, no, really. You know, you have your little restaurant row, and,
Right.
Which was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a very walkable town, which is great. And yes, I think I don't know that they really do like a census here, but I think there's like 30,000 people, we'll say. And there's, I'm told, 75 to 85 restaurants. That's a lot
Oh,
of
wow.
restaurants. Yeah.
I didn't realize there were that many.
And they're, like I was talking about, the local breakfast thing, or the fancier places that we don't usually go to. But, you know, once in a while, it's great to play dress up. You know, usually we're in shorts and a t-shirt, but
Right. It's my speed too.
yeah. So yeah, you can find anything that you want, and food's good. Do you have any complaints about the food you've had?
No, the food's been really great. And it's actually been kind of the range, right? So you can have your local Panamanian food to what more Western food, fusion food.
Italian, a lot of Italian
Oh, a lot of
restaurants
Italian,
here.
yeah.
Not a lot of Mexican restaurants, which I would have thought some of that influence
Right,
would
right.
spread to the area, but you don't see too much of that here.
You were talking about transportation. So you don't have a car here, which I can't believe, especially coming from Ohio.
Right. But you're coming from New
New York,
York,
right.
so a lot of people don't have cars there. But yes, so that was kind of an interesting point with my wife and I. She kind of misses the car. She likes being able to get up and go, but we're a half mile from town, and the whole point to us moving to a place where it's 75 degrees every day is so we could be outside. And it's hard to see the mountains and everything when you're behind the steering wheel. But when you're walking, you're just looking at the rainbows, you're looking at everything and going, you could just stop and you go, look, oh my gosh, look at that, that's cool. And
Are there but if you need transportation like a bus or taxi or whatever, is that easily accessible?
yeah,
Or?
taxis everywhere and cheap. We first got here and we grabbed a taxi from town, and I think it was $2 to get back to our place, and we were like, this is the best place ever. We're good. I mean, if you wanted a taxi, easily accessible, so we'll use it sometimes from town or you know, whatnot, or if we're going to one of the cities around here. But if we want to go to like David, which is about a 45-minute drive, we'll take the bus, and
That's the closest big city.
that's the closest big city, and that's getting you closer to the beach, and that's where you'll find, you know, in this town you're not going to find a Walmart or something like that. You got your basic stuff, and it's good. Everything, you know, you got your groceries, you can find clothes here, you can find whatever. But if you're looking for something specific that maybe you can't find here, David's the place to go. And so we'll usually go there maybe once a month and hop on the bus. Clean buses, air conditioned, wonderful buses.
Wow, that's awesome.
And you hop on, and for that 45-minute drive, it's $1.75. So I'm good with that. And you get there, you grab a cab if you need. You know, they'll drop you off right in front of a shopping center where there's restaurants that are or I'm sorry, stores like Conway is like a Target. They have Price Mart, which is like Costco. They have Do It Center is like Home Depot. So I mean,
so they have their version of everything.
You can find, yeah, you can definitely find what you're looking for. So, like I said, maybe once a month we go there and get those odds and ends, and
that's pretty awesome. It's your little field trip.
yeah, it's fun. It is. It's an experience. It's good.
So this is a fairly small town.
Right.
How do you keep busy? Are there activities here? What kinds of things do you do? You know, fills the soul.
So this was a big change for us completely. First, you got to mind you that. I mean, we're now retired, and we've taken our daughter and we're homeschooling her, and so it was a lot of change completely for us. So we're kind of
still adjusting to that.
Still adjusting to everything, but activities for kids. There's not as many. It's mostly an older crowd here, but it's starting to transform a little bit. We're starting to find that there are more families moving here, which is great.
So it's good for retirees.
So it's definitely good for retirees. You know, our daughters, we're starting to get her in some activities like horseback riding. For us, we just like walking around. Just enjoying nature. We're doing group hikes, and there's young people there, there's old people there. It's across the spectrum. You'll find everybody, and they're fantastic.
But you also have your zip lining, and
you can do the experiences like that, right? So I mean, it wouldn't be like an everyday thing, but right. Yeah, zip lining and the bridges. What do we call those bridges? The hanging bridges,
suspension bridges.
Yeah, whitewater rafting. I mean, so they have things to do here. Golf, if you're a golfer. Racquetball, I play racquetball. Swimming, whatever. I mean, there's different things. Or a lot of people make their beach trips and do that.
So there's a lot of animal rescue organizations here that are helping.
There's places like that. My wife and daughter, they volunteer once a month for a spay and neuter clinic, and it's kind of incredible. They go through like 300 animals in that day. They have vets from everywhere, and there's hundreds of volunteers that help out with that whole thing. And
that's awesome.
That's kind of cool.
That's my thing.
That's not me though.
Oh, I know.
That's my date. That's product placement. That's when I'm working on my on
your
my
blogging.
blog. Yeah, that's right.
Actually, so this is a good segue. So in terms of money and banking, and so the currency here is U.S. dollars, which I was actually kind of surprised. I've been here before and then I forgot.
Yeah.
And that's kind of an easy transition for Americans.
That was a big reason why. So when we were looking for, we've never lived in another country before, and we wanted the transition to be as easy as it could be, I guess, without counting like Canada, I guess. But so that was a big thing for us. It's kind of neat when you go to the ATM machine and 20s pop out that you're used to and everything. They do have a coin called the Balboa here, and you'll see some of their different coins, but they're all interchangeable. There's no fluctuations. It's even with the dollar, so you don't have to worry about that.
And so so you have your American bank accounts. Do you have a bank account here, or how do you like?
We don't. So here's a tip for you viewers here is we're sticking with the U.S. bank accounts for now, but the problem that you'd have is when you'd use credit cards or different things like that, unless they waive foreign transaction fees and different things like that, you can kind of get screwed. So we're living.
Capital One has a transaction-free card.
Yeah, and there's a few that do. They all have annual fees, and if you're cheap like me, you don't do that. But like Schwab has, if you have a bank account with them, they give you their debit card or whatever, but they will waive all ATM fees. That's U.S. or international foreign transaction fees. They waive them all. So you just use it like your regular card. You can use it like a Visa if you need to or whatever, and that makes life so much easier that we don't have to worry about that. We go to the ATM at the end. ATMs, I think, are charging like $4.50. I think.
I know, it's crazy. I don't take money out of ATMs because of that.
We'll go a few times. I mean, we're paying our rent in cash, so we're going a few times a month, and then at the end of the month, get the statement, and they show you the credits back of all the ATM fees, so that makes life a lot easier.
Oh, that's great,
Yeah.
actually. So then and then pay your bills online.
Well, yeah, I mean, but when you say pay them online, there's not too much. Like I said, utilities are mostly included,
Oh,
so
right.
we don't have to worry about that. I mean,
Your credit card bills or whatever.
yes, that's
Right.
correct. But we're not really using credit cards. We're using our
Oh, right.
bank account for
Right,
most
right,
stuff.
right.
Then we go back to the States. We use up all our credit cards to try and get some rotation on them. But cell phone plan, we're having that taken out of our bank account too. And
So wait, do you have an American cell phone or a local cell phone?
well, I have an American cell phone, but the cell phone plan I have here, and it's just a monthly plan, comparable. It's more expensive than you'd think for being in Panama. It's $35 a month for unlimited data and everything. And everybody uses data here for
Yeah.
texting, voice, everything. They're using WhatsApp. As soon as you get here, people aren't asking what's your phone number. They're asking what's your WhatsApp, and
Yeah.
that's how they communicate. But and then when we go back to the States, we pop in a SIM card from another MVNO, a monthly plan. Pop that in the States, and then reactivate service.
But your phone number is an American phone number.
So that's going to get tricky. I
Oh.
like this, but I actually wrote a whole post on using Google Voice while abroad. And
Is that what your phone number is?
do you know about how that works? Do you want to hear about that at all?
Sure.
It's interesting. So Google Voice lets you can port your number to different
Right.
companies. Google Voice lets you port your number to them. So it's up in the cloud, the internet. So it's out there. And what's neat is then within Google's little console or whatever, you can say where to have it ringed. You can have it forward to wherever you're at. So when we transitioned, that was part of the hard part. I didn't want to deal with, having friends. It's going to be hard enough for everybody, friends and family. I didn't want to have to deal with them having to go, okay, well, maybe you need to download WhatsApp or download So doing this, now when we're here, it rings to my Panamanian cell phone number. Doesn't matter what the SIM card is.
Oh, I see.
When we're in the U.S., switch it, rings to that. It's seamless for everybody. So they're still calling and texting my regular number. That works over data. So whether
Wow.
they're calling, texting, or anything, it's kind of cool.
That's pretty cool. That is very cool, actually.
And free. Free's good.
Free's a good price. I
Free's
like
good.
free. How do you deal with the visa situation?
The visas here are pretty easy to attain, and they have different ones depending on your age. Like I think the most common once your retirement age is you can go after the pensionado visa, which is fantastic. You get all these discounts and benefits and all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, this is really crazy, actually, the pensionado visa, right?
I mean, and I can't give you the exact numbers because we don't have that visa, but you can get, let's say, 25% off at restaurants or 25% off on flights that you're booking.
It's the flights, it's the food, it's like pretty much
medical, everything. I mean, it's kind of crazy. So, but what's interesting is you don't need that visa to actually get those benefits. Once you're of age, you also get those. The pensionado visa, you have to be able to prove that you have guaranteed income coming in every month. So that could be an annuity, a pension, different things like that. But you can't be financially independent and say, I have a good net worth. We have enough money. That doesn't count.
Oh, they want the income.
You actually have to show them. I think it's a letter that says this is specifically what I will be getting for the rest of my life to be able to get that. So if we had an annuity that would cover that, we could provide that at our age. But so that's what I'm saying. Usually it's more traditional retirees are able to do that. For other people or people that want to get a job down here, then most people will go after the Friendly Nations visa, and that one's an easy one to attain. The biggest hurdle is cost, and it's not the end of the world. I think we're budgeting maybe $7,500 for the three of us, but we're holding back from doing that right now because we want to make sure this is the right place. We decided 1 year first. We'll stay here for a year, and if it's our place, then we'll get it. In the meantime,
that's smart.
We follow the tourism rules, and it's not a big deal. But yeah.
That's awesome. And so what about like culture and community? How is that? Is it easy to kind of integrate within the Panamanian culture? Do you need to know Spanish?
Do you need to know? It's funny you said, do you need to know? I literally wrote down this morning, that's going to be a blog post that I plan on writing.
Really?
Yeah, I wrote that down
See?
as an idea. And the answer, maybe I shouldn't give away the answer. No, you don't need to know Spanish here, but it is definitely helpful. And I'm still blown away by a lot of expats who come here who don't know Spanish, like they've lived here for 10 years.
Right?
Yeah. So, I'm using apps like Drops and Duolingo and Memorize, and my wife and daughter, they're using a tutor right now, and going from there. So
that's awesome.
Works well.
Awesome. So, has there been any kind of surprises or, I don't know, challenges as someone who's an American living here?
I think the hardest thing has probably been, and this is just maybe my vision, but like I envisioned us becoming more integrated with the culture. I want to have some Panamanian friends. I want to learn. This is exciting. This is a new adventure. I want to learn these kind of things, but I do kind of see a little bit of a separation, not like any animosity, but I kind of, the place where we're at, there's not very many Panamanians that live in this community and whatnot, but you run
very
into
segregated.
Everybody's so friendly here. You walk by somebody, everybody's saying hi, how you doing, and all that. Whether it's expat or local or whatever. But I was hoping for more of like a blend, and so far I'm not seeing that. Maybe as my Spanish gets better.
Yeah, I think if you do, and then you make the effort, then that's, I guess, how it's going to have to happen. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. And so, do you miss the U.S. at all?
No.
Your quality of life is pretty good here.
I love every bit of it. I think, and my wife and daughter will tell you that, the hard part is family, friends. You've up and left, and I you'd find that though, not if you didn't even move to another country, if you just moved to another state in the U.S.
Right.
If you're moving far, it's hard to uproot. You see generation after generation staying in the same place, and somebody's got to start it. Somebody's got to move it over and try. It's beautiful, minus the rainstorm. This is beautiful here. So
no, it doesn't get much better than this. This
right.
is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's wonderful.